So, when we arrived at Southern Cross, we had some tea, and after that we then went to the front of the steam locomotive to see it in action. So this is a photo of the steam locomotive at the station. The next photo is me holding my little Lego R-Class right next to the real one, and they look quite nice together indeed. So this is also the diesel locomotive. So this is basically a T-class transformed into an H-class. All they did was add extra weight, which is quite surprising. I actually didn't know that, and neither did Dad. So this is basically our room. So this is during the day, obviously, this picture, but at night time we got on the train, and that's what my room looks like. There's some more pictures of my room. So both Dad and I slept in the old wooden carriage, and man, it was such a nice carriage. It had such good and amazing woodwork. It just looked absolutely amazing. And of course, the best part is this thing. Now you may not know what this thing is. If you press that button which you see that says press, the whole side will flop down and you can spray water down the drain. You tip it and then water comes out of the side of the train, and it looks like you're like weeing all over the track, I guess. I don't know why, but both Dad and I find it quite hilarious indeed. So this is a picture of my Lego trains that I brought. So 707 and T356. And man, these locomotives got a lot of love on that train trip. I was shocked of how many people loved it. So it definitely was a great choice to bring those locomotives along. A lot of people just thought they were just models, but to their absolute surprise, those were actually Lego models that I created from scratch with no instructions. So yeah, my Lego locomotives got a lot of love that day throughout the entire train trip. So yeah, I'm very happy with how much love they got. And also later on in the day, so basically near night time, well, it was night when we got on the train at 10 p.m. I would say. Train departed around 10:30 p.m. I think. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, during the night when we were sleeping, the train stopped all of a sudden in the middle of a railway crossing, and all we could hear was ding 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 ding, and man, I could not sleep at all. Finally, the train moved out of the train crossing, so cars could go by as well. Some cars stopped at the railway crossing and they got a little bit frustrated, so they just drove the opposite direction because they couldn't be bothered waiting any longer, which completely makes sense. I totally agree with them. But yeah, here is the video of that railway crossing. So guys, we're currently stopped in the middle of the railway crossing, and right outside, all we can hear is just ding 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 ding, and I can't get any sleep at all. So yeah, there it is, the flashing lights. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you this, because man, it's loud and I can barely even sleep. So yeah. So after that night, we got up and had some breakfast. On the way to our destination, we actually saw some really cool silo paintings. So there's one with the emu, there's one with the girl swinging on the chair, and of course we saw an amazing old K-class locomotive as we went by. There, we also went on a bus trip, so basically the train arrived at the destination and we didn't get back on the train around 8 p.m. because the rest of the day was basically going on a tour on a bus to see all the painted silos. So I'm going to show you all the pictures I have of the painted silos, and they look really good. So please enjoy these pictures of the painted silos. So it turns out I didn't get pictures of all the painted silos that we saw, so it's not as long as I'd like it to be, so I'm sorry for that. But yeah, the next picture is my Lego R-Class locomotive at the dinner table. So basically, we got there around 8 p.m. around 8 p.m. Even though we were supposed to be on the train at that time, but we actually weren't. So we got there at 8 p.m. and had some tea. Now I ordered my tea, and my family also ordered the tea as well. But Dad's tea took about 2 hours to finally arrive. As for Rachel and I, it was about, I'd say, an hour of waiting, maybe. And yeah, Dad got really frustrated, which is totally understandable. So the next picture is the station that we saw. It looks really cool, like an old station. That's where the one-day train trippers actually got on the train at. So this is the start of the very first morning, and Dad's taking these pictures of the train at the front. So we're on the old wooden carriage. The steam locomotive is parked at the front, which you can see in this photo as well. And yeah, we just looked out there and we saw the back of the tender. So surprisingly, they actually let the fire go out in the steam locomotive. So they had to restart the steam locomotive and fire it up, get it ready for the next day. So there's another footage coming up, and this footage is the train going past the silo. So please enjoy this footage. So this is a photo of the steam locomotive parked right outside of our red carriage. And man, it was such a sight. So here is some footage of the T class, or the H class, connecting to the R class, and then shortly after, steaming, getting ready to depart. Oh, and by the way, in this footage, we get covered in steam, and all we could see outside of our carriage was complete white. You'll see in a minute. So basically after that, the train connected to the front of our red carriage, as you can see in this photo, and then started to head off back to Southern Cross. I was sad knowing that this would be coming close to the end of our train trip. But nonetheless, it was still an amazing experience. So please enjoy this last couple of footage of the steam locomotive heading back to Southern Cross. And there'll also be some more talk about what we saw at one of the stations that we stopped at as well. So after we arrived at the station, we were able to get off because it was about an hour stop. And one of the people was so amazed with my Lego trains, they wanted to give me something in return. And what happened next was absolutely incredible. I couldn't believe this actually happened to me. So you guys are probably wondering, what on earth is so good that makes this unbelievable that it actually happened? Well, guess what? You may not believe it or not, but I was actually able to go inside of the cab of 707. And there's going to be a picture appearing right about now. There I am, hanging outside of the window, smiling all happy inside of the cab of 707. And what made it even better is no one else was able to go inside the cab too. It was only me. And man, what a sight indeed. The man told me all sorts of what other things did as well, what these gears did, and it was just quite interesting, a nice learning experience if I'm being completely honest. Unfortunately, there's some photos that didn't quite save, so unfortunately there's some photos that aren't there that I would have liked to have shown, including videos in this video as well. But yeah, what an incredible time indeed. And here is the final footage that I have to show you today. This is some more of the train coming back to Southern Cross. And after that, I'll talk about how great the train trip was. And I'm pretty sure you guys can all guess how good it was. But anyways, here is the footage. So unfortunately I don't have any pictures of the train at Southern Cross because when we got to Southern Cross it was very late at night and we had to quickly get back on a train. But unfortunately the train service that went all the way back to Bendigo was replaced by a bus. So we had to get on a boring bus and go all the way back, and luckily about halfway I'd say, or about a quarter there, we were able to get back on the train, and the train took us all the way back to Bendigo. So yeah, that was basically my experience of the train that went from Southern Cross to Wycheproof. Yes, that's why I remembered the name of the town. So this place was where the train went directly in the middle of the road. And yeah, it was a really good trip. I 100% recommend to go on this if you were planning on doing it. So overall, how I rate this is definitely a solid 10 out of a 10. Because man, it was such an amazing time. I had a great time there going on the train. And even though it may seem like a long period of time on a train, never once did it get boring. Just like my other overnighter that I went on with Dad. And it was on the Queen's birthday in 2019. I don't remember exactly what we did. But yeah, it was just as good. And yeah, I just had an overall just amazing time there. So yeah, that was basically my experience of the overnighter train that went from Southern Cross to Wycheproof. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys all next time. And also, I'm sorry for not uploading for a very long time. It's just that these train videos take quite a bit to upload, so they may take a while to come out, but hopefully this will make up for the time loss. See you guys next time. Bye!